All right. First, I got I got to ask you about your motor. You seem to never stop. Has that been the case all your life?
I think so. Listen, I always knew that no matter the circumstances, no matter what I was tasked to do, especially in this profession, hard work usually is met with some great results. And that's kind of been my whole deal, just grind it out. Going into year 28 in this profession, I think, to get to where you need to get to, hard work pays off. And I think that's a lesson that all of society can learn from. Man, just put in the work, put your head down, and hopefully positive results come from it.
Give me an idea during the season when you get to the office, when you go home.
Yeah, most mornings I try to wake up. The alarm is generally set for somewhere in the four
Oh my.
something range. Okay. And now I don't know how many times that alarm has actually woken me up because sometimes it's usually a thought. Maybe it's a play, a scheme, something with a recruit. Maybe it's a crying baby, or maybe it's a dog barking. But generally, that alarm has not been something that's waking me. But get into the office, get some type of run in, generally get some of that energy out. I don't drink coffee. I just wake up and I roll. And I think it's because I get so excited. And this is not coach speak. This is not to sound corny.
Yeah.
Like I just get so excited to get the day started because there's so many things that are going to happen. And also, by the way, if I'm one of the first ones in the office, not as many people can bother me with all the issues that are going to be facing me throughout the day. So I can kind of focus on myself, get the exercise in, and then be prepared. But it's been part of it. I still try to be involved with everything with this program that's involved, from academics to strength and
Yeah.
conditioning to nutrition to play calling on offense, defense, and special teams. So still involved in the X and O's, the recruiting aspect, and then more importantly, the relationships with our current players, getting to know them, spending time with them. And that usually creates for a pretty darn full day. And sometimes
Yeah.
we're trying to raise some money. And so depending on the day during the season, there's times I'm the first one out of the building, not often.
Yeah.
And there's other times I'm the last one out of the building. So there's been times I pull up, nobody's in the parking lot. And then there's times when I go home and there's nobody in the parking lot. But listen, I love what I do, and I'm blessed to be the head coach here at Arkansas.
You ask about the players' why. I'm curious what your why was. Say when you were 18 at Florida High School and 19 at the Virginia College, what was your why to go full bore into coaching?
For sure. Back then it was simply because I loved the game of football, right? And a neck injury told me, hey, you can no longer play this game. And certainly I didn't have an NFL future or of any of that sort, much less a high level college one. And so I got into coaching simply because I love the game of football. I love everything it stood for, right? The hard work, the teamwork, all those things that I think are so important for especially young men to understand and learn. And then, as I dove into the profession, I love the ability to teach and to coach and make a difference, right? You'd see something that you had gone over in the film room or something you went on to practice, then you'd see it show up on a Saturday on game day, or a Friday night, and you kind of fall in love with that. You're like, man, I'm teaching these guys, I'm educating them, and it's showing up. But then as I got older myself, obviously starting coaching at age 18, I didn't realize the impact other than those that had the impact on me, from my head high school coach to others. Man, you can make a difference in these young men's lives. And I think a lot of that gets lost with what's going on in college football, right? With the transfer portal, NIL. But I go back to, really at the age of 21 was where I was like, and this is fun. It's not only impacting what they do in between the white lines, but for the rest of their lives. And I think if you can hang on to that and it's getting lost, it makes a big, big deal. So we tell the guys all the time, and I tell my staff, pour into these guys. My number one job as the head coach here at Arkansas is to serve every single person in this program. And I mentioned that in my first team meeting. I told the guys, my number one job and our staff's number one job is to serve you. And a lot of them kind of gave me a weird look. And I said, we're going to serve you, right, by providing you structure, by providing you high standards, everything we do, and ultimately holding you accountable. And I think that's gotten lost, but it's part of loving these players. And, when you do that, I think you're going to get more out of them also. And then, hey, maybe 20 years from now, they'll sit there and say, yeah, that Ryan Silverfield guy, that old man, he impacted my life. I love him. Get invited to weddings. People just send you pictures of their kids, and that's what makes you really proud.
7 years in the NFL. How much you incorporated that into not only running a program, but drills that you use now that maybe some other coaches don't do?
For sure. Listen, I think it's unique having that NFL experience. A lot of the coaches with that many years in college football have not been a head college coach as long as I have. And so it's unique, right? Coach Belichick, obviously a Hall of Fame coach in the NFL, but only 1 year as a head coach in college. So I think, being able to tie those two together, the experiences in the league have certainly helped me. Um, where we're going with this salary cap, where we're going with this transfer portal, it's a little similar, right? Setting up front offices has kind of been similar to the structure we ran in the NFL for my 7 years there. And then seeing different things, right? With these players now making a lot more money than these coaches, right? Sometimes those practices will look a little bit different, but we're still going to coach them hard. But they're drills that I saw. There's things that we're constantly learning from, and ways we can adapt and move forward in the right direction.
I have a saying in life that I think applies to life and work, that you get what you tolerate. And you don't seem to tolerate a guy handling the ball loose or a pre-snap penalty, and it showed at Memphis with your numbers.
Yeah, listen, we want to be the best in the country at what we can control. We got to line up this year, and maybe there may be a team with more talent than us. Probably. It's my job to obviously bring in the right type of players and develop the right type of players, so that when we line up, it's not a huge discrepancy in talent. But when we do, there are things we can control, right? Pre-snap penalties, unnecessary penalties during the play of the game. Holdings are going to occur, pass interference are going to occur, but false starts, ball security, those are things that we have the ability to control. Arkansas, and this is not to talk about the past, has not necessarily done a great job of taking care of the football. You give yourself an opportunity to at least stay in every game if you can be good with ball security. And that starts, not just on game day. It starts actually, January 14th when the players are back and they hear me talking about owning the football. Anybody that comes out and watches the practice, and I've kind of made mention of this and joked around, like, they're going to hear like same words over and over and over out of my mouth. You know what? So I hope it's ingrained in our guys' heads, right?
Yeah.
Come training camp, come spring practice, and then ultimately when we play the games.
You're hiring a staff, or about done hiring a staff. What's the big thing with every coach you talk to, that if that's not right, we're not moving on?
Yeah, I want people to be aligned similar to me, and that's a great question. Not I don't want everybody to be just like me, because we need a bunch of different guys and staff members that are going to have unique thoughts and unique ideas, and hopefully smarter than me, and they're willing to work like I am. But I want people that care about this game, that love football, right? We talk about bringing in players that love football, but I want coaches that are passionate about the game and passionate about helping out young men. And listen, we'll have plenty of scheme. All right, we're gonna have the best coaches in all of college football, guys that are capable of adjusting, adapting, teaching. But can they develop as well? A lot of these coaches just sit there and say, well, no, if he's not good enough. No, it's our job to make him good enough. And anybody that complains, oh, these aren't my players. No, that's BS. They're all of our players. And so it's that right attitude, that right approach. We've talked about being all in, guys that want to be all in, that want to be at Arkansas. They're saying, Coach, I want to be a part of this. There's been a couple of this coaches on the staff that I interviewed at my previous stomping grounds, and they chose other pastures. And then they're saying, I'm not making this mistake again. I want to be a part of what we're going to build. I want to be at Arkansas. I want to be in Fayetteville with you for a long time, and can't wait to get this thing built back the right way.
Cal says you're either winning or learning. You had a great run at Memphis, but after your first year, you had a couple of years where you probably didn't meet your expectations. What did you learn from that period?
For sure. And listen, those were, yeah, I love the fact that we were able to set the expectations at a high level, right? When I can go in there and say going to bowl games is the minimum expectation. And we certainly, you're exactly right. We did not achieve what we needed to achieve. Now, people will sit there and point, and I appreciate those loyal fans that sit there and say, well, Ryan, you started a 17-year-old at quarterback. We were the only team in the country at that time to start a 17-year-old at quarterback, a true freshman that had really one other offer. I don't think he had any stars, wasn't highly recruited, but I believed in him, and I believed what he was capable of. We thought he had the opportunity to have success down the road. It obviously showed in the latter years, right, with winning 10-plus games, beating a bunch of P4 teams. But we kind of bit the bullet and knew what we were doing. At the same point, also, just as a young head coach, just trying to figure out what ultimately is the best. And if I'm not learning every single day, like you just said, shame on me. And so just trying to find different ways, better in-game management, better development, better talent evaluation. All those things are important to me. And I'm still learning. Like to this day, I better be better today than I was yesterday. And I want that same for every single person in our program, that growth mindset, that process driven, but finding ways to learn. And I can learn not just from other football coaches, right? Maybe it's the CEO of Walmart that's going to teach me something. Maybe it's something I'm going to read in a book tonight that's going to make me a better head coach. And I think those things are vastly important.
You usually see a mass exodus when a new coach comes in, and you've done a good job recruiting the team. It's been trickling out, but some valuable pieces are coming back.
For sure. I think, listen, I certainly shouldn't take any credit. It goes to I think what Arkansas is all about and what it stands for. And I thought it was unique that we were able to get some of these recruits to flip in 24 hours. They had no idea who their position coach was. They had no idea. Some of them I'd known for a while, but they just knew, man, this is what we want to be a part of, right? This vision that Ryan Silverfield has, what the University of Arkansas is all about in the program and playing in state. And then meeting with certain guys, right? Quincy Rhodes Jr., a guy that I was his first offer out of high school, right? And we've had that relationship. KJ, all these guys, a lot of these guys saying, man, I want to be a part of this. This is something unique. This is different. Maybe it was my passion, my energy. They could feel the sense that they saw when I made the comment about let's get new light bulbs down here. And the next day there are new light bulbs, just changing the mindset, right? Getting rid of this loser mentality, being bought into, hey, this is going to feel different. This is going to look different. And as I met with players and looked at them eye to eye and face to face, I said, listen, you got to want to be here and I got to want you here because it's going to be really hard here. It's going to be challenging. There's going to be things I'm going to ask you to do that you've never done. I'm going to hold your butt accountable. And I say this all the time. If they flinch from that, probably not the type of young man I want in our program. But so many of these guys here, there's so many young men that are yearning for that. Man, coach, I want it different. I want it hard. I want you to push us, to challenge us. And ultimately, I want to win a bunch of football games, and I want to do it with you. And so it's been fun to see these guys saying, man, coach, I'm all in. Let's go get this thing. Hey, we can't get on the field soon enough. I'm itching, but NCAA tells me I'm not allowed to practice today. So we'll sit back and stand in our hands and wait.
Finally, have you even thought about what's going to be like to run out with that team come fall? I mean, this is a different animal than Memphis or some of the places you've been. The passion here, what it's going to be like to run out in Razorback Stadium.
Oh, listen, it's when I lay my head down at night after a pretty good day's worth of work, it's the last thing I think about before I say goodnight to my wife, and the first thing that, wait a minute, without coffee, that gets me going, just the passion and the energy of these fans. Like I said, they deserve a winner. They deserve a coach that's going to give them everything, a team that's going to play relentlessly for them. And the fans are one of the reasons why I'm here. People always said, Ryan, why did you choose Arkansas? We know that some other schools probably came calling. What was it about this place? And more than anything, it's all about the people. And so I can't wait to run out them and show them, hey, this is what it's looking like. This is the progress we've made. This is who we're all about. And man, it's going to be no better feeling.
All right. I appreciate you. I don't know how you do it, but you're like a machine here.
I love it. It's been fun. It keeps me going. I'm ready for the next thing, next challenge. I don't think Kyle doesn't have any more media obligations for me.
Well, I know you've been one after another. Hey, curiously, just one other thing. Out of the 5,000 people in the portal, how many guys will you guys actually, ballpark, will actually look at tape of or investigate?
First off, it's probably going to be about 10,000 guys in the portal.
10,000, whatever
probably,
it is.
Reality, probably 2,000 guys.
Wow.
So, we've got a system now that we got some of our guys here, but I can say, listen, I watched every one of our players' film, practice film, currently on this roster. And then if I'm watching, 80 guys a day myself, I mean, when it's all said and done, maybe I'll watch everybody that's in the portal.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. And
Absolutely.
tell Kyle thanks too. All right.
Yes, sir, for sure. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
And try to enjoy the Christmas there if you can.
I will take 12 hours and try to enjoy the family for sure.
All right. Thank you much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Sully.
Kyle.